Okay, let's get right into this. We need to talk about the deeply unsettling news surrounding Perez Hilton. For a figure who essentially helped invent the modern celebrity media landscape right around the time platforms like TMZ were taking off, his recent headlines have taken a truly horrific turn. Today, we're moving past the initial shock value to really unpack the underlying factors. We'll be looking at the timeline, the crushing pressures, and honestly, the systemic platform failures that all collided on one terrifying night.
To really wrap our heads around what happened, we have to start by asking a pretty heavy question. What actually pushes someone to a breaking point this extreme, right in front of a live audience? When a seasoned media personality experiences a total collapse broadcast to thousands of people, it's almost never spontaneous. As we're about to see, it's usually this brutal, compounding avalanche of personal, financial, and physical stress.
Section 1. A public cry for help. The incident on TikTok Live.
We have to start with the tip of the iceberg here. Late at night at his home in Miami, Perez experienced an incredibly graphic, self-harming breakdown on a TikTok live stream. We're talking about reporters and authorities describing a severe psychotic episode. Thousands of viewers watched in absolute horror as he repeatedly cut himself with a knife. The visual was so raw and graphic, it sparked an immediate, massive public panic. It was just a desperate, heartbreaking situation playing out in real time across countless people's feeds.
Here's what's actually kind of incredible about the digital community. They instantly became first responders. Viewers absolutely flooded the Miami police tip line. And because this was happening live, people in the comments were frantically trying to figure out his address, and they actually managed to track it down so authorities could intervene. When police arrived, they thankfully confirmed his 3M kids were not inside the home. Officers worked from the outside to de-escalate the terrifying scene, eventually providing support to his family when they arrived.
Following that intervention, he was taken to the hospital and is currently under what's called a Baker Act. If you aren't familiar with that term, it grounds this whole crisis in a very serious medical and legal reality. The Baker Act is an involuntary 72-hour psychiatric hold specifically designed for evaluation and to prevent any further self-harm.
Section 2. Vegas comps to Miami costs. The financial catalysts.
To understand how things spiraled to that breaking point, we've got to look at the extreme financial whiplash he went through this past year. Even before his big relocation, his whole world was shaken by a massive health scare. He battled a severe bout of sepsis, which led to a prolonged hospital stay. And as you can probably guess, that resulted in seriously mounting medical bills. So right out of the gate, he's dealing with a huge dose of financial anxiety.
And this really illustrates the shock to his system. It's like a tale of two completely different cities. Over in Las Vegas, sources say he was treated like absolute royalty. We're talking white glove treatment, doors open for him, meals paid for, hotels totally comped. He was living the ultimate local celebrity VIP lifestyle. But then he moves to Miami. Miami is famously cutthroat. People call it the new LA. You go there to be seen, but you have to do it on your own dime. No red carpet treatment for him there. Going from a fully subsidized VIP life to footing the bill for everything created some major, documented financial frustration.
Section 3. Family and financial pressures. The human element.
So, the big question is, why make this financially draining move in the first place? Well, that brings us to the human element. Despite absolutely loving his life in Vegas, he made a massive sacrifice. His elderly mother, who lived with him and helped with the kids, hated Vegas. She grew up in Miami and wanted to go back to her roots for her final years. He prioritized what his mom wanted over his own comfort, packing up his entire life just to appease her.
Plus, we literally cannot ignore this number 3. He is a single parent to 3 young kids. Think about that for a second. This cross-country relocation wasn't just a quick hop. It carried massive logistical, emotional, and financial weight. He totally uprooted his entire family structure at a time when he was already under financial duress.
And people started noticing things were shifting. As he was trying to find his footing and network in this new city, his demeanor changed. Just 2 weeks before the incident, people at a Miami event noted that while he seemed okay outwardly, he was intensely focused on religion. Sources mentioned he had recently found God again, and all his conversations were heavily Jesus-focused. Now, that's not inherently negative, but it marked a very distinct behavioral shift while he was scrambling behind the scenes to bring in income. When you stack all these stressors up, you can really see the avalanche effect. Surviving a life-threatening illness with massive bills, instantly losing that heavily subsidized Vegas VIP lifestyle, relocating across the country to make his elderly mother happy, being a single dad of 3 and hustling desperately for money. It is a textbook recipe for a psychological breaking point.
Section 4.
TikTok's moderation failure, the systemic fallout.
We have to zoom out and talk about the platform itself, because the fact that thousands of people watch this live is a huge part of the tragedy. This timeline shows a really chaotic moderation failure. When the graphic stream started, TikTok's automated system actually did flag it. They have moderators for every live stream, but then technical glitches totally derailed the safety protocols. The stream reportedly kept crashing and restarting, and because of a feature allowing collaboration requests, other users' streams started merging with his. This technical chaos seemingly paralyzed the human moderators from taking the feed down the second they realized what was happening.
This has caused a massive public outcry and a huge discrepancy. On one side, viewers are swearing that this horrific stream was active for a full 30 minutes. TikTok, on the other hand, is aggressively defending their response, firmly claiming it was active for exactly half that time, just 15 minutes. But honestly, whether it was 15 minutes or 30 minutes, a highly graphic, self-harming event was broadcast live to thousands of people for an agonizingly long time.
Which leaves us with a really heavy, provocative thought. As we watch the lines blur between personal tragedy and public content, when a creator hits a real-time crisis, where does platform responsibility actually begin and end? It shines a light on a really dark side of live streaming, forcing us to ask who is ultimately keeping viewers safe when the cameras literally never stop rolling. Thanks for diving into the complex facts behind this story with me today. Keep asking the tough questions, and I'll catch you next time.